We want to position ourselves tonight. You that would be writing things down, I want you to write down tonight words. Write down words, because tonight I'm going to share with you why is all of this necessary. Why do we have a Bible in the first place? Why has God wrote certain things in the Bible? We live in a different time in which our Bible was recorded. It was recorded under different circumstances. And under different circumstances, this Bible was written with different people. Everybody say, with different people. It was wrote with different people and under different circumstances. I want to share with you this Bible that we have, how God is so wise and so unique. So I want you to write down words, and we're going to title it like this tonight: Words Under Investigation. Words under investigation. That's what this Bible is all about. That's what teaching the word. Anytime an evangelist will open the Bible, anytime the pastor will open a Bible, anytime any vessel, any person that God will use today will open this Bible, these words that are in this Bible are coming under investigation. So write down words under investigation for today's situations. Write it like that. Words under investigation. Words under investigation for today's situation. Words under investigation. Everybody say words under investigation for today's situations. Say it again. Words under. Under what? For what? Situation. Everybody say situation. You and I live in a time when we have situations today. The challenges that we face today are not possibly the same challenges that they faced when this Bible was recorded. But God, in his foreseeing eye, planned it where this Bible would be recorded. That's why we have a Bible. There's a record. Certain people God picks out. Certain individuals, certain cultures. He picks out certain situations. And he told holy men, write this down. Write that down. Write this down about this particular nation. Write this down about this particular incident. Show them how I worked among the children of Israel as they were encountering this or encountering that. So the purpose of this Bible, I want you to write down the purpose of my Bible, because you need to be able to know this for yourself and help somebody. A lot of people are carrying Bibles and don't even know why we have a Bible today. Why do we have a Bible? Why does God need anyone to explain the Bible? Why does he need someone to take people back over recorded words that are written in this Bible? Why should someone go back over it? Because these words must come under your personal investigation. Now watch this. If this word is this important, what happens to the people that never investigate these words? People that don't know, if I have a problem, where do I get the answer from my problem? Where do I get the answer from my personal situations? Whether it's a physical thing I'm going through, whether it's financial, whether it's emotional, whether it's personal, whether it's social. Social means interacting among society and interacting among other people that I live with, whether it's relatives, whether it's a husband or a wife, whether it's children, whether it's cousins, uncles and aunts, grandparents, friends, co-workers on jobs. That's social. Okay, so what do? That's why this Bible is written. Words under investigation for today's situations. That's what this Bible is all about. God had these things wrote down so we can go back. I need a reference point. Write down, I need a reference point. REFERENCE. I need a reference point. Something that I can go back to. Okay, now this is going to challenge. This really challenges every preacher. It challenges every pastor, every bishop. It challenges every minister more so. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the average individual is not going to search this Bible out. The average person, God didn't call you and doesn't expect you. He puts a demand on my life as a pastor, a demand on an evangelist's life as a representative that will go out and speak the word. He puts a demand on a teacher. We are the ones that are supposed to dig into this Bible at the orders of God. God directing, saying, okay, I know who's coming. And I know the situation of every person that will be under the sound of your voice. They don't have to tell you their personal problems. They don't have to tell you what they're going through. But God in his wisdom foresees who's coming and what do they need to hear. And so then he tells the man or woman of God, study this area. Go back and investigate this area. Look back into these words. Look back into that situation. Look back into that circumstance, and then I want you to put it under a title or a heading in the time that you live in that they can identify with. That's why I'm saying words under investigation. What is that? So you can understand that these words can be investigated. These words can be examined. You can go back in these words and research and look through these words. And as you begin to research and look through these words, you'll find something. So, oh my goodness, I identify with that. Oh my goodness, it wasn't the Amorites, but it was an Amorite situation. And mine was financial. Are y'all listening tonight? And so that's how the word of God is. We look at symbols, write down symbols, S-Y-M-B-O-L-S, because God uses certain things in here and they're symbolic. In other words, it's not the actual thing, but it's a symbol. God says when you read it, this will remind you of that. So it's a symbol. That's how this Bible is written. So it's a symbol. He tells the children of Israel to do certain things. So I'm setting the stage for you tonight so that you can understand in your mind. Your understanding is the most powerful thing you have. Write that down, my understanding. Because if you don't have an understanding, guess what? You have a misunderstanding. Either you have an understanding or you have a misunderstanding. If you don't have a misunderstanding, guess what? You have no understanding. And if you have a misunderstanding or you have no understanding, you're in trouble. Because now you need something to encourage your heart. You need something to reassure you. As we walk with God, the trials and the tribulations and the challenges and circumstances and things that you face, if you don't have something to remind you that the God that you connected to in the first place, that he's still alive. You need to know that the salvation that you have or the confession that you made out of your mouth and said, I'm walking with God. Well, let's find out, is God still walking with you? So how do I know God is still walking with me? Because he constantly reminds me, look back on this, look back on that. And I see God as he describes himself. He describes himself to be this kind of God. Then I'll look in the time that I live in and I'll say, based on what I need from God and based on what I'm dealing with God, is he that kind of God in my life today? I don't have to fight a Goliath like David did, but sometimes your situation is very gigantic. Anybody know what I'm talking about? Real big problems, problems that are towering over us, problems that you ain't telling nobody about. And you said, Lord, I got to face this situation. Gigantic financial things, physical problems, mental problems, and it appears to be towering over us. So I go back and I look and I say, well, David fought against Goliath. Well, that's symbolic. Everybody say symbolic. Because I'm not fighting against no physical giant. I told you last week that our challenges are mental. For you that are here the first time, our challenges are mental in the day we live in. They are emotional. They are financial. They are spiritual. You're not threatened by somebody that's going to knock you upside your head for real. Israel was always on her heels. running away from real giants, real attacks. When they went over there to fight the Amorites and the Jebusites, it wasn't no talking going on. You need a weapon. Somebody gonna bleed. Somebody could possibly lose their life. Well, aren't you glad that ain't nobody whooping your head every day? Can you imagine if you woke up and every day somebody was in your face ready to bust you upside your head? Every day somebody's ready to take something that you got. Every day you battling, you fighting physical. See, we're blessed, but guess what? How many of y'all know that fighting a mental battle will wear you out? If you don't know how to free your mind, if you don't know how to get problems out of your thoughts, come on. How many people are saved and go to bed troubled and get up and have not slept the whole night? Trying to figure out how you gonna pay this bill, how you gonna pay that bill, trying to figure out what is my life gonna be like 3 days from now. Emotional drama. We got emotional stuff. You got your feelings in the way. You got your imagination in the way. Threaten. God, I need so much amount of money in 10 days. God, I need to pay this bill or I don't know what I'm going to do. This might get shut down. That might get shut down. So we're dealing in the emotional and the mental channel. So how do you get through in mental and an emotional channel? Well, I look in the Word of God and I have words under investigation. So now I got to find something that shows me the power of this God that I've been reading about. And so I can look and see what he selected. So that's how this Bible is designed. Now we've come through the Old Testament last week. We started with the Old Testament. And I believe we covered the Gospels. We told you last week there are 4 Gospels. And we talked about Matthew, the gospel according to. Please write that down, because sometimes we paraphrase and we say things and we don't mean any harm and we make it easy for ourselves to remember, but we miss some nuggets along the way. Because it don't say St. John. It said the gospel according to St. John. And the Bible is specific about it because the gospel according to St. John is different than the gospel according to St. Luke, than the gospel according to St. Mark, than the gospel according to St. Matthew. Because you got 4 different men that were writing 4 different versions of what they saw Christ doing. Some come real close. But then when you look at Luke and you start studying Luke, you find that Luke was different. Luke was a real doctor. He was a physician for real. And Luke wrote differently than Matthew, Mark, and John. He wrote differently. John's assignment was real big because John now has got to give us a picture of the living Christ. So he paints this picture of Christ. He shows us Christ before he came down here to this earth as the Word in the Godhead. And so there's a difference. That's why you have Matthew, Mark, Luke, John. Okay, we've come at Joshua. We came all the way, I believe we went through Joshua all the way to Malachi. Okay, and so tonight we're going to deal with the early church. Write down the book of Acts. And I want to give you an outline of Acts. I'm going to try to cover as much of this as I can, because in actuality I would really cheat you if I would just give you a little drop of Acts, because Acts is so powerful. If we remove the book of Acts, we are removing the beginning of the church. See, we all come in here and we sit in church and we're in church, but if you remove the book of Acts, there is no church. Because the church didn't get started when I started Balm and Gilead or somebody started a church. The church got started over 2,000-3,000 years ago. The worldwide church. Okay? And so we're dealing with Acts, the early church stage. Chapters 1 through 12. If you were to read chapter